Hi Dave, lovely to meet up with you again on the range yesterday and do a little bit of work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key point during the session. What we're seeing here now on the left hand side is a player whose takeaway is very much rolled on the inside. If you watch the path of the club and the club face on this swing, the path of the club is very much underneath or behind, very much rolled open. You can see the club face there really opening up. And as we get halfway back, we've got a club face that's very open, just about make that out there, and a shaft that's very much inside, so the playing line's been shifted out to the right. Then as we coming into impact, we've got a very similar scenario, club face very open, shaft very much inside, and from there, depending on the particular hole you're on, you're going to either leave this face open and hit a big push straight right, or close this club down very quick as we did there and get that ball duck hooking left on you quite quickly. Timing it just right, things are nice, there's a lot of good things in your swing, but that makes it really difficult for you to coordinate and control that club face. If we now have a little look at you here on the far right, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and create a club face that's slightly close to your path, ideally, so we want the path to come from the inside, not excessively but slightly from the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to put that in early on in the swing. We're going to hinge the wrists a little bit earlier to try and prevent the club getting rolled in quite as much. But as we hinge the wrists, we're going to work the knuckles under to give us this slightly toe down position here. So you can see there now that the path is slightly in and the club face is slightly closed to that path, which is ideally suited to hitting a little draw. Remember, what we're seeing here on the left is a player who is, during the takeaway, is rolling the wrists but not hinging them sufficiently to offset that. So there's insufficient wrist set at that point. What we're seeing here is a player who is hinging the wrists earlier, albeit a little bit underneath. But you can see there now how much more online that club is. That was a much better rehearsal, that one, the second time around. Club more online, club face slightly toe down, so we've got a club face that's a little bit more shut to the path that we're swinging on. And as a result, as we now get to the top of the backswing, on our way to the top of the backswing, the club isn't rolling quite as much inside as it was before. The club face isn't quite as open as it was before. But more importantly, as we now come into the golf ball, instead of the club being very much behind the hands and toe back open, we've now got a situation where the club is much more in line with the hands and more neutral. So as we're coming into impact, we're a little bit less from the inside and we're certainly less open with the club face, requiring much less rotation on the way through, allowing that ball to start off straighter, higher and under more control. Much better swings towards the end of your session than at the beginning of your session. So the difference in the follow through there, much higher, more wraparound finish on the left as opposed to a slightly flatter, more compact position on the right, brought about through better positioning of the golf club coming into impact. Good luck with it. Have a great Christmas and I look forward to working with you again in the new year. Well done.